Hello everyone and welcome to Fun with Fitzy. We are starting chapter 13, my absolute favorite chapter out of all of the chapters in grade 11 and 12. It's on partnership accounting. So the first video is about characteristics of a partnership. This doesn't really have a lot of accounting in it, but just a little bit of theory. So let's get through the theory and then we'll go to the fun about dividing net income, adding partners, withdrawing partners, liquidating partnerships. Really neat stuff, but definitely something you should pay attention to as we go through. Okay, so just a couple of things here with respect to partnership form of business. So we know a partnership is a company that has come together, more than one person. As you know, one person is a sole proprietorship, and on our balance sheet they have a capital and a drawings account. Well, in a partnership, many people come together, could be two, could be 100. There's no limit to the amount of partners that can be in a partnership. And often accounting firms and law firms and financial individuals come together and they form like accounting partnerships and things like that, and people become partners, and the partners are the owners, and it is a very good idea to have a partnership agreement. So we're going to spend some time in class talking about partnership agreements, and we're going to talk about the characteristics of partnerships. And some of these things here, like association of individuals, co-ownership of property, limited liability, unlimited liability, mutual agency, are some of the terms I'm going to expect you to know. So if you open up the worksheet that looks like this, then you can follow along here with me. Okay, so what are some characteristics of a partnership? The first one is ease of formation, and it's exactly what that means. It's easy to form. Much easier to form a partnership than a corporation. So when you see ease of association or ease of formation, that means ease of starting the partnership. Okay, so a partnership is created when two or more people voluntarily agree, and this can be verbally and orally are the same thing. I don't know why that's in there. Or written, it should say. Verbally or written, to carry on a business to view the profit. Now, it's smart to have a written partnership agreement, as you would have seen in Mr. Pluis's grade 10 class. And of course, your goal is to get a profit. Now, another characteristic of a partnership is limited life. What does that mean? Well, limited means there's an end. Unlimited means there's no end. So partnerships do not have an unlimited life. It's limited. Any change in ownership dissolves the partnership and they have to start over again. So if you and I are partners and I decide that I don't want to be partners, the partnership is dissolved. Another characteristic of a partnership, and the reason why this is important, the limited life, sorry, let's go back to that, is in a corporation, if one of the shareholders or owners decides to sell their shares, the corporation still goes on. So that's why it's important to say that. Mutual agency in a partnership. What does that mean? Well, each partner acts for the partnership, and the action of the partner is binding on all other parties, even when they exceed their authority, so long as it seems appropriate for the partnership. So an example I have is, let's say you have a farming business, and one of the partners decides to go out and buy a tractor. And no one else agreed to this tractor. Well, guess what? All of the other partners are stuck with that tractor now, and they all have to be willing to pay for that. So each partner acts on the partnership. Okay, so when you're writing your partnership agreement, you might want to have some very good details about what partners can and can't do and what decisions they can make without the other partners. That's what mutual agency means. Another characteristic is unlimited liability. Well, when we talk about liability, we're talking about when you owe someone, right? That's a debt. You could have unlimited debt in a partnership. This is like similar to a sole proprietorship. Each partner is jointly and severally, that means individually, liable for all partnership liability. So if one partner is being sued, all partners are liable, because they're all part of that business. Or if the partnership itself is being sued, each partner has unlimited liability to pay back that debt. Each partner is responsible for all of the debts of the partnership. Okay, and this could go into your personal assets too, just like a sole proprietorship. However, in a corporation, this is different. In a corporation, the shareholders, who are the owners as well, if the corporation is sued, the shareholders are not on the line for it, the corporation is. Another characteristic of a partnership is division of income. Well, of course, we got to divide the income up that the partnership makes, right? Partners need to agree on how the net income will be divided. And this is going to be my favorite topic, division of net income, that we're going to do in the next video. If it's not specified clearly, it's going to be divided equally. Seems pretty fair, right? Each partner's income is personally taxed. So we talked about income tax. Well, each partner will pay income tax on the company, just like in a sole proprietor, they're going to pay tax on the company's earnings. Well, let's talk about how this could not be fair. Let's say you and your brother are partners. So there's you and your brother. And let's say your brother is lazy, does nothing, stays in bed all day, playing video games. Here's the TV. And of course, there's no wires on TV video games anymore, nor are there antennas on TVs, but you get the point. And you do all the work. You go to work every day. You make $100,000 the first year. Guess what? Your lazy brother, and if this is income, net income, he's going to get $50,000 of it. He did nothing because you didn't have a partnership agreement. So if you had a contract and a partnership agreement that said, I will take 90% and you will only take 10% because you're lazy, then you would have made $90,000 and he only would have made $10,000. So you got to be really careful. Another characteristic of a partnership is co-ownership of property. Each partner has a claim on the assets equal to his capital balance. So you'll see this when we talk about this in our fourth video when we liquidate the partnership. Well, at the end, each partner gets to walk away with what his capital balance is. So if you have $100,000 in capital, you get to take $100,000 and so on. And there's a process, there's a 4-step process that we're going to go through for that. So those are all of the characteristics of a partnership. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each of those characteristics. So an advantage of the partnership is that combining skills and resources of 2 or more individuals is great. Let's say you were great at fixing cars and I was a great accountant, and we formed a partnership. Well, my skills of accounting and your skills of fixing the car are perfect to come together. You won't have to hire an accountant because you have an accountant in-house, and I don't have to hire someone to fix the cars because you can do that. It's easy to come together. We talked about that already. That's an advantage. Not a lot of government regulations or restrictions. Corporations have a lot of regulations and are hard to come together. You have to file articles of incorporation to come together as a corporation when we're going, and we'll talk about that in chapter 14 and 15. But partnerships can just come together and they don't have a lot of impact or interference. Easy to make decisions. If there's only a couple of you, then you decide together. However, in some businesses where there's lots of people, corporations, decision making takes a long time. Look at the school board, for example. There are superintendents and principals and directors and associate directors and all these other people in a school board. And so in order to make one decision is a nightmare. Disadvantages of a corporation is this mutual agency means you're responsible for it. Plus, if a partner leaves, the partnership dissolves, and this unlimited liability. A lot of people are not happy with that. If the partnership gets sued, then your personal assets could come at play here because you're being sued personally. Okay, so that was quite quick. So by now you should be able to name the different characteristics of the partnership and explain what they mean, and also determine which ones are advantages and disadvantages. Thanks for watching. Hope that helped.